There are thousands of Kriyas. Now, there are many organizations who teach Kriya Yoga, and that's a beautiful thing. Most of those insist that they have the one way. This is a characteristic of human consciousness, not limited to Kriya Yoga. Wouldn't that be nice? It was just Kriya Yoga that was like that, and everybody else recognized it. There's like Yogananda said, there are thousands of Kriyas. Shelley taught my guru Goswami Kriyananda the same principle. And Kriyananda taught hundreds of Kriyas, maybe thousands. But the lineage has always emphasized that for a technique to be a Kriya, it needs to follow a very specific pattern. There can be thousands of ways of expressing this fundamental pattern. Now, Shelley said there are primary ways of expressing the pattern. These are ways that have reduced the elements that are involved down to just to the essentials. There's secondary ways of doing it, which involve more elaboration of symbols and such. And there's tertiary ways of practicing Kriya, which is basically living your life with awareness. The more primary the methodology, the more it moves towards the primary level, the simpler and simpler it becomes. But all the methods have this pattern in common. We could say that the pattern is this. It is the pattern to discover continuity of consciousness through the spiral of birth, death, and rebirth. A poet who sits down to compose a poem may go through it may be a Kriya for her or for him, for them, wherein their old way of perceiving life and themselves dies, and something is reborn that is then encoded in the poem. Now, in the ancient days, they spoke of, exoterically, they spoke of the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Mystically, the cycle is just going around and around unconsciously on the wheel of karma. You're still being birthed, dying, and being reborn every moment. It's just all seems chaotic and like a struggle. A Kriya, whether it's a tertiary Kriya of our everyday life, a secondary Kriya using the symbols and the archetypes of consciousness, or a primary Kriya, is a way of turning that cycle into a spiral of ever deepening, ever expanding awareness of the continuity of consciousness, the being that is ever present and ever unfolding, ever emerging, ever expressing in endless permutations of evolution, of becoming. So this is what a Kriya is. A Kriya is dissolving the complexity back to its essence and then becoming reborn, letting that essence becomes reborn.